Ziggity back with more Griff Ventures of Griff. There we go. Oh, I can blink it, blink it, blink it, blink it, blink it, blink it, blink it. There. So here is that guy Griff down here in the bottom right of what is this one? Ohana LE, I think. Oh no, I think I'm wrong. Daybreak or Ohana? No, it's not Daybreak. It must be Ohana. Haha! I kind of know what I'm talking about, but I actually don't. So this is the game between that guy Griff and Xanice. Xanice. We're gonna go with Xanice. Yet another PvP. The problem with playing Protoss is that everyone else plays Protoss, so I think the Griffventures of Griff will probably get much more interesting once he starts doing either random or Zerg, because he's actually quite good at Zerg. In fact, we've planned that for our next best of 3 over on Lime Not Lemon, he's going to play Zerg and I'm going to play Protoss, mostly because he wants to get better at Zerg and I need him to get better at PvZ with early pressure. Now, the bonus of this game is that it is short. Spoiler alert, it is short. So the cool thing about PvP is at least they are usually pretty short games depending on what you do. Griff chooses one style, I'd pretty much choose another. I still favor the 3-gate robo. Griff is a bit more of a 4-gate type guy, especially with, oh no, he seems to have put down his gate on 12. He's gone back to 9 pylon and scout, and then gate on 12. He didn't like it before because it cut production, but I mean, look at this. Speaking of cutting production, cough. 190, 180, blurg. Crazy APM going on there. Griff deciding, oh, that's cutting down on. See, have a look at the income. He's got 1 chasing and 1 scouting, whereas Xanice only has 1 scouting, and the difference is 40 minerals per whatever the hell that is equated to. And getting ready for, I would say, a forward pylon? Maybe, probably, perhaps. No, he's just, wow, where are you going? He's just having a walkabout. He's going walkabout. Everything's fine. Griff getting a 15 pylon. Does he have his gas? He must have his gas. Let's make sure. Yeah, he has his gas. Does he have anything in it? No. Second gateway right off. That's intriguing. It's almost like a 3-stalker rush, so he has a slightly better 3-stalker rush build than myself. There's the forward pylon at the natural. Really, really sweet spot, especially in bronze. Just because in bronze, no one takes their expo before maybe about 10, 12 minutes. Seems to be average. The difficulty in staying in bronze for a very long time is we're getting far too used to bronze, and I think a lot of the tactics do change once you get up into silver and gold, if we ever get there, but we'll see. We like being pretty slow. Mostly we just don't have enough time to ladder. Anyway, so Griff continuing up with the pro production, but following a little tiny bitty bit behind. He does have an extra chrono boost on the Nexus, but he's probably saving that up for, yep, now-ish. There it goes. Well done. Not too bad there. Finally getting all his dudes in, and oh, here we go. So does he see this? Oh, look at that placement. Invisible in the natural because Xanice did not scout. I mean, technically, he probably could have dropped one. Well, actually, no, probably couldn't have dropped one over there, but there's lots of places that Xanice is not having a look at. He could place one down here. Griff is very good at putting down the forward pylons. So Griff is not deciding to expand. Still only on 3 gates right now. There goes the 4th gate starting at 549. Warp gate is just about finished. Finishing a little bit earlier. This is all of Xanice's units right there. Is just a sentry and a zealot. He's definitely thinking he's in masters, where he can hold off everything with just 2 units. Kite with 1, force field with the other, and do quite well. Nothing on the Cyber Core. He's just letting that play out towards the end of it. Almost has enough units there, and it is a 3-gate robo, but it's kind of an odd 3-gate robo. Meanwhile, Griff is deciding to push out. Put another forward pylon right there, just in case this one ever gets discovered and blown up. But at the rate Xanice is going, it does not appear to be quite that result. But here comes a pretty late 4-gate, but a strong 4-gate, because if you look at the army supply there, Griff is way behind in worker supply. The income tab shows the depth of the situation, whereas Griff needs to win this, or he's about to lose the entire game. So he comes down with a whole lot of sentries. That's very odd and strange. So they escape. The probes make it back up the ramp. Xanice is getting ready with a few units, but Griff is just totally overpowering right now. I can't imagine how Xanice thinks that they can get out of this. Unless, of course, yeah, there we go. Finally an Immortal starting to come out. But the big problem there is that Griff has taken out a fair number of... Oh, we need two... Yep, 2 force fields there. That's not quite enough because now Griff does have vision up top, not focusing down. When you only have the sentries, it's just not going to do it. The Immortal not coming out quite fast enough. Xanice is not handling the supply cap situation. There should be any number of... Yeah, these guys could be doing all sorts of things right now. But sitting there and not even returning your minerals or putting down a pylon is just not helping. Kind of a bad unit control here on Xanice's part. I mean, look at his APM. He does have the ability to take care of that kind of thing. Griff just putting on the pressure, forwarding in. These pylon there and pylon there, that just made the game right there. But with a 4-gate, that's exactly what you need to do. This is probably why my 4-gate is not all that good, because my placement of pylons is just poor. I don't put them in the right spots, I don't put them in nice visible spots, and they get picked off and found far too easily. That Immortal just does not stand a chance. The rest of Griff's army comes in, and it turns out to be a 30 army supply to 0 army supply. Xanice GG's out. Griff takes the game. I believe this one was called a 4-gate versus a top 8 bronze. For a while, Griff and I were doing well against silvers. We were doing well against, low 25 silvers, but against a top 8 bronze, we have now mostly figured out, aside from the problem that decent saturation, a 4-gate, following the 4-gate, once you kind of have enough, I think, let's just have a quick look and see. No, his gates were back up, so he was ready for another warp in. But at this point, when you have this much overpowering, you can skip a warp in cycle and probably just plop down an expansion. Words of Day 9, when you're ahead, get more ahead. Or I could use an additional gas, but Griff's style of play, he does pop in enough zealots to not need that additional gas. I mean, that's a fair amount of stalkers that he's got, but once you have that base of stalkers, Griff then just starts saying, hey, you know what? Let's bring in the zealots. Let's bring in the big guns. And he brings in the big guns. That ends this Griff venture of Griff. I'm going to try to say that from now on because I kind of like saying it that way. So leave me a comment. Leave me or Griff a comment. He probably reads it. If not, I'll forward it on to him. Yes, I always stretch at the end of these games because I get all hunkered in and very serious. And you know what? Never mind. Send me an email, ziggyzig@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter @ZiggyStarcraft. For more Griff Ventures of Griff, stick around here. Griff and I do some other things over on our other channel on youtube.com/limenotlemon. Stay tuned.